you all are ready. Good? Good? Kevin? All right. Well, good afternoon. I appreciate Judge Shepard's urgency in issuing a final trial court opinion in this matter. What our students and faculty need now is finality. That's why I'm calling on Governor Bevin to accept this ruling and to go ahead and appoint the 5 open trustee slots to the board. If he does that, U of L can notify its accreditation agency that it is now in compliance, and student federal financial aid will no longer be at risk. In short, the university can move forward. This was never about Beshear versus Bevin. It was always about students, faculty, and the rule of law. If the governor refuses to accept this ruling, I'm asking him to file his notice of appeal today, and I will agree to move this case immediately to the Supreme Court and ask for a very quick briefing schedule. No more delays. We owe that to our university communities. I'm also calling on the governor's office again to use today's ruling as a turning point. I had hoped last week's Supreme Court ruling would help stop the tide of nasty attacks by the governor's office, that it would serve as a moment of reflection. As you all have seen, that didn't happen. So I again ask the governor to stop with the politics and to stop with the attacks, whether it's on me, the legislature, or even the court system. And join me in my mission to address Kentucky's most devastating problems. To join me in our mission of preventing and prosecuting child abuse, of better protecting our seniors against scams and abuse, of seeking justice for victims of rape and sexual assault, and in finding workable solution to our drug epidemic. These are the problems that Kentuckians, whether they are Democrat, Republican, or Independent, expect and rightfully expect us to work together on. And it's where we should be spending our time to make true progress. I finally want to thank the hardworking attorneys in my office, including Mitchell Denham and Latasha Buckner, who argued this case. They fought for what was right. They fought hard to defend our Constitution. And I believe that I and the citizens of Kentucky owe them a big thank you. So thank you all. So with that, I'll take any questions.
General, one thing that stuck out to me in the ruling was he said that based on the absence of testimony, he was basically making a finding of fact that President Ramsey negotiated for the board to be abolished in exchange for his resignation. What do you make of that finding?
Well, this was, as the court told us, was going to be treated as a trial. Where the court could and would make findings, and that we needed to present all the necessary testimony. That's why we presented an expert on accreditation, and that's why, pursuant to that testimony and the letter from Sachs, the judge also made a finding that it is clear from these letters from Sachs that the governor's actions have placed the University of Louisville in jeopardy of sanctions affecting its accreditation. Folks, that's serious, because accreditation is necessary for federal financial aid for our students. At any point where actions have caused an issue with accreditation, somebody ought to pause and say, wait, we certainly didn't mean that to happen and the risks are too great. And then to take every step that's necessary to fix that problem. But Adam, I think that that was only one part of an overall ruling that was correct, and it was correct under the law. Governor Bevin can first file a motion to reconsider at the trial court level. I believe he has 10 days to do that. He also has 30 days to file a notice of appeal. Now, again, this governor has been about cutting the red tape and moving things forward, avoiding bureaucracy. So if he will not accept this ruling and appoint those 5 people to the board, remember his board only had 10 people on it, he can appoint 5 of them. And move forward. If he won't do that, we owe it to our universities, our students, our faculty, and to the Commonwealth to move this forward as quickly as possible. So I'm calling on him to file that notice of appeal today, and we will join him in a motion to move it directly to the Supreme Court. I mean, our students, our faculty, our universities deserve that finality.
How confident are you if this does go to appeal, that this trial court ruling will stand?
I'm confident. The ruling, which I believe is about 17 pages, I think is well-reasoned and well-written, and I believe that there are other arguments that he did not address. Judge Shepard didn't address the constitutionality, but I believe if you read the opinion, said that there are very serious constitutional issues raised by the governor's actions. So an appellate court could either affirm this decision on the grounds that are in it or on constitutional grounds. So we feel good, but again, it's not about Beshear versus Bevan. It's about students, faculty, the student's family, and the university community, and they deserve finality. So let's put this to rest. Let's have the governor go ahead and appoint those 5 outstanding trustees, and let's move forward. Let's let U of L move forward.
And the 5 vacancies are on the incumbent or 17-member board, correct?
That is correct. I believe that there are 2 that have never been filled, that there is a court order in the justice resource matter where they have to be filled, and I believe Judge Shepard says that Governor Bevan is not complying with that order. So those 2 need to be filled by minority members, and then there are 2 positions that the term has expired, and then there is 1 resignation that recently happened. So there are 5 open spots. And Judge Shepard says in his order that Governor Bevan can address any and all of his concerns with the board through making those appointments, and that in the past, that's how these situations were resolved when the tables were flipped.
But he can't make appointments to fix the political. Not enough open seats for that unless he asks for people to resign.
Well, what Judge Shepard says is he says that appointing the 5 would comply or substantially comply with the law, and then to get it in that perfect number, he would use future appointments. And Judge Shepard points out that's exactly how the Fletcher-Stumbo case was resolved when there were too many Republican members on different state boards. So this has precedent. It can be fixed. It is entirely within the governor's power.
Judge Shepard also seemed to make the same observation that the Supreme Court made about there being outside the scope of the governor's reorganization. Does that imply what's likely to happen at the appellate level?
Well, I believe that the Kentucky Supreme Court decision in the university funding case talked about the nature of universities and how they are separate and independent groups that have some attachments to state government but are independently governed and independently control their finances. That was an important decision for the universities in that case and in this case. It gives them certainty as to the budget when it comes through, and this gives them certainty as to governance. And that is incredibly important because, as our expert testified, it ensures academic freedom, that no governor or any other government official can dictate to a university what it is or is not going to do.
Judge Shepard said he doesn't doubt the goodness and sincerity of the governor's motives. He said he thought they were pure. Do you agree with that? Do you think the governor had good motives in doing this executive order?
I don't know the governor's motives, and I don't suggest that he had negative or bad motives behind it. What I know is that his actions did not comply with the rule of law. And like I said, this isn't personal, but upholding the rule of law is my job and is my duty as Attorney General, and we've done that duty.
Any other thing on this?
Yes, General,
Yes.
regarding your request to the governor to stop the attacks, did you read his Facebook page today regarding comments about you and some of your staffers?
I saw about the first 3 lines of that. That's the type of negative, attacking behavior that we just don't need in state government. And the governor is such an important figure in Kentucky. I mean, in Kentucky, when the governor comes to a town, people bring their kids. It's an important role, and we need to have a positive role model in that spot that is not spouting negativism and vitriol and attacks. And I hope the governor realizes and embraces that role and that we see a change.
The governor still hasn't said what he's going to do about the Supreme Court's ruling.
That's right.
You asked for him to basically accept and release that money.
Yes.
He might be trying to circumvent that ruling.
We don't have any evidence of that. What I will say is it's a 5-2 ruling. I believe that it is going to stand, and any challenge is just delaying this $18 million from reaching universities that desperately need it. Moorhead, just the other day, had what I believe was $1 million HVAC system breakdown. With their budget where it is right now, they're not going to be able to use that building without these funds. That's where some of our universities are stretched to right now. You know, that case is over. It's time to provide those funds and move on, because the only person the governor's hurting by not providing them are the students, their families, the faculty, and the universities themselves. Oh, the only communication that I've received was a nasty text message from the governor last night. It said my office was an embarrassment to Kentucky. Being the adult in the room, I did not respond.
Did you solicit that, or was that unsolicited?
No. First text I've ever received.
What time did he send it?
About 6. I think that's right.
Can you show us?
I don't have it on me, but we'll see if we can provide you a copy through Terry.
Some indication that he knew about this ruling at that point, or?
I wouldn't think so. I don't, but we'll get you a copy of it, and you can decide.
Any other questions?
You said you received a text message at 6 p.m. Monday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
All right.
If we could get it, that'd be good. We want
All right.
to quote it accurately. So.
Sure. Thank you all.